There we go. So welcome everybody to the Tuesday night business call. We're so excited to be here. We're back in action. I want to first give a huge shout out and thank you. Lisa and I want to give a huge thank you to Marcy for driving this ship for a couple weeks. Thank you so much, Marcy. And for our presenters, we had Brian, we had Josh, we had Nick, Cindy. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Great calls, awesome content, and you guys are going to be doing a lot more of this. It's incredible. So thank you all so much. Great call tonight. We have a great call coming up. Good content. First of all, we want to do basically on these Tuesday night calls. It's a business call. We're not really talking about products or ingredients. We have a couple congratulations to hand out, some housekeeping. Then we'll get to our topic of the week, which I think from feedback that this is going to be great. And then questions at the end. And I can only stress enough, every time we do this, questions come up. People feel like they're going to ask a dumb question. There's no such thing. Guarantee you every single person on this call has wanted to ask these questions or thought about these questions. But what happens is when people don't speak up, we get phone calls about 5 minutes after the call ends, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, the next day on this stuff. And we don't mind it, but this is what it's for. So please ask a question. Everybody, there's 8 or 9 other people that have the same question on their mind. So to jump right in, this is just incredible. This team is explosive, and you're about to see this right now. We want to throw out some congratulations for the past 3 weeks. Rank advancements, number 1, manager, Ora Booker. Congratulations for hitting manager. This is back at week September 4th. Consultants, these people have hit consultant. Christine Costello, Mark Scott, Christy Kimball, Diane Lehman. And the top cyclists for that week, Chad Zanotti, Jennifer Gebby, Bennett, Dr. Andrew Smith, Dr. Brian Olette. And top enrollers for that week, Christy Kimball, with 3 people blessed with enrollments that week. So that's huge, guys. Recognition is huge. People working their tail off, and it's great to see people advance. Week ending 9/11, rank advancements to managers, Dr. Scott Perlman and Ferranda Lee. Awesome job, guys. Awesome job. Consultants, these people made consultant status. Michael McGinnis, 1-star Silver Circle. Michael McGinnis got to. Michael Pisis, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Angela Torbush, Tara Lee, Taylor Wallace, and Alex Gebhardt. Do you guys see what's going on here? Do you see all these rank advancements that are happening? Top cyclers, Michael McGinnis, Jennifer Gebby Bennett, Michael Pisis, Chad Zanotti, and top enrollers, all with 2 new people this week. Dr. Sean Savadoff, awesome job. Anna Elise, Taylor Wallace, Crystal Fresca Dort, I pronounce it properly? Crystal Dort, and Danielle Lehman. And then last week, the week ending 9/18, Joe Wibby made consultant status. Awesome. Top cyclers again. Number 1 top cycler was Chad Zanotti. And then in second, Jennifer Gebby Bennett, followed by Dr. Brian Olette, Wendy Hyatt. Awesome. Top enrollers, Dr. Brian Olette with 4 new people that week. Huge. That is awesome. And Joe Wibby blessing 3 new people in his first week. Joe Wibby did this in his first week. So I ran through those names, you guys. This is a team that's exploding, so get excited about this. Awesome. So now we're going to jump right into the content tonight. And I will tell you this, there are some people on our team that are doing this, but most do not. And the people that do this are the people that are seeing this in their cycles, in their enrollments, etc. Could those of you mute your phones and your computers, please, if you haven't already, just to avoid the feedback? So right now, we're going to get into this. We're going to find out how to crack your business wide open. And I will tell you that people often say, well, what do you say? What do you say to this person? What do you say to this school teacher? What do you say to this CEO? What do you say to this person who doesn't have a job? What's the magic word? What do you tell people to make them sign up? Well, I will tell you this, that the topic of tonight's call is magic words. There are no magic words. The magic words are actually questions, okay? There is no magic line. I remember very specifically a couple of years ago, which got my attention, Michael Klaus did a training, and people said, Michael, what do you say, right? What do you say? You guys are explosive on your team. And he says, I have no idea what I say. I have a conversation with people. It's like, you're going to go hang out with your buddy Doug tomorrow night. And I say to you, Linda, what are you going to say to Doug tomorrow night? Right? They're just hanging out. I don't know what I'm going to say to Doug tomorrow night, right? It's the same thing. We make it so weird and so crazy. It's all about communication and just listening to what the vibration brings and what the conversation brings. So what you need to do is take interest to find out what is best for them. Instead of telling them something, find out what's best for them. So that's really what the magic line is. So what can I find out about someone to see what solutions they need? What can I find out? What can I discuss with them to enhance their life? What information can I offer them? The only way to know that is to talk to them and ask questions. So the most successful people in this business, they don't tell people anything. They ask them open-ended questions. Write that down. Open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are the true magic questions. Open-ended questions, right? So what's an open-ended question? Open-ended questions reveal what people want and need, which can allow you to help them. I'll repeat that. Open-ended questions reveal what people want and need, which can allow you to help them. That's what an open-ended question is. If you tell them, it's your agenda. If I tell them something, it's Joshua's agenda. It's my agenda to sell. When I ask, that means you're caring about them, and that's what this business is. You ask, you're caring. That's all that this is. And when we figure this out, this is really the magic bullet. When you figure this out, it's just a conversation. It takes down the worries and the anxiety and the stress because you don't have to really make something happen. It naturally happens. And you're going to see that in a few minutes, right? They will tell you everything. When you ask questions, they'll tell you everything, every what, why, and how. That's called hot button. They're hot buttons. It's the answers to the test, as I heard someone say. They'll tell you everything. People love to talk about themselves. They'll reveal their hot buttons every single time. So what's an open-ended question? Questions they have to expand on in order to give you an answer. Like I said, rephrased. Questions they have to expand on in order to give you an answer. It's not a yes or no question. It is not a yes or no question. So you have to be able to rephrase any yes or no question so they start talking. So you can take a yes or no question, rephrase it to an open-ended question. So here's an example. Let me first show you an example of what not to do. Here's a closed-ended question. Would you ever be open to joining Isagenix? Right? What are they going to say? No or yes, but it doesn't help you. Because even if they say yes, well, now what? It becomes really awkward. What do I say next? Right? That's a yes or no question. That's not what you want. Instead, how about if you rephrase this? If you were to consider Isagenix, what would it have to do for you in order for you to get excited about it? That's a magic question, right? Locked and loaded, sit back, close your mouth, and listen to what they say. They're going to paint a picture. So here it is again. If you were to consider Isagenix, what would it have to do for you in order for you to get excited about it? Beautiful. Examples of magic questions, they are to get people talking. And more importantly, is to get them to want to get on board with you, right? They need to reveal their hot buttons, okay? So here's another example. Thanks for jumping on the phone, Doug. I'm so excited to talk to you. But tell me, what piqued your curiosity about Isagenix enough for you to jump on the phone with me today? I'll say that again. Thanks for jumping on the phone. I'm so excited to talk with you. But tell me, what piqued your curiosity about Isagenix enough for you to jump on the phone with me today? Beautiful. They're going to reveal to you what they're struggling with or what they're looking for. You know, I can't lose the weight. I have no energy. I see my people at work. They're sleeping better. They have more energy, right? They're going to tell you whatever that is. Or here's another great question. What have you heard? This is an easy one. This is a simple, easy one. What have you heard about Isagenix so far? Boom. It's short. It's sweet. It's open-ended. They're going to start talking about why they're on the phone with you. Linda, what have you heard about Isagenix so far? Great. Their answer could be negative or positive. It really doesn't matter because you're going to be able to categorize them and approach them differently depending on what they answer with. So there's nothing wrong with negative as long as you're prepared how to respond. You need to be prepared on how to respond to negative statements, and that's okay. right? We want all of it. Of course, we want it to be positive, but that's okay. So if they respond with, here's a negative, I've heard it's expensive, right? Who's gotten that on this call? Everybody, right? Right? Yeah, we all do. I've heard it's expensive. Great. Well, expensive is a relative term, Brian, but it's definitely one of those products where you're going to get what you pay for. And because of the quality that goes into it, it's definitely one of those more elite products that delivers more elite results. So something like that. I'll say that again. Well, expensive is a relative term, Brian, but it's definitely one of those products, or you could say systems, where you get what you pay for. And because of the quality that goes into it, it's definitely one of those more elite products that delivers elite results. How great is that? That's such a great answer. Yeah, expensive is relative, but you get what you pay for. I love it. The key is just to be ready for those questions, right? Just be ready to field those questions. And that's why we're going to talk about practice after this. There is work involved, i.e. network marketing, right, that we always hear. So more than not, the responses will be positive. Just understand that, since they're already on the phone with you. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you a positive response because they're on the phone, but then 10% of the time you may have some negativity, and that's okay. Here's a great question. Linda, if Isagenix were to fit into your lifestyle, what would it look like for you? Another open-ended. She gets to daydream now. She's now getting excited that this could be for her. Well, it's got to be affordable. It's got to taste good because I'm on the road a lot. It's affordable. It's got to taste good. It's got to be easy because I'm on the road a lot. Blah, blah, blah. She's telling you things, and you're writing these things down and you're putting them in your brain, because that's going to help you at the end of this conversation. Everybody liking this so far? Good stuff? Okay. So here's another one. In order to get excited about Isagenix, which physical goals would it have to help you with? Excuse me. In order to get excited about Isagenix, which physical goals would it have to help you with? Would have to help you with. So you're asking them more about the physical goals, not so much the business side of this, which is fine. Well, I'm looking to take 10 pounds off, or adding muscle to my frame, getting more energy, whatever it is. So that's more about the nutritional side of this. In terms of business questions, here's a business question. In order to get excited about the business, what kind of money would it have to generate, and how many hours a week would you be willing to put into this, right? So you want to know what kind of money it'd have to generate for them to get excited about this, and about how many hours per week would you be willing to put in. So if they say like $500 a month and they want to spend a few hours a week, great. It's always great, right? It's always great, whatever it is, because it can fit into most lifestyles. Now, if they say, I want to make $20,000 a month, I want to work 1 hour a week, right? You got to change one of those numbers, and you can go backwards, but most people are going to be realistic with this. So once they say, all right, Brian, in order to get excited about this business, what kind of money would you have to generate? And how many hours per week would you be willing to put in? Now, if Brian says about $500 a month, and I'd be willing to put in, 1 hour a day, maybe a couple days a week. Now, here's the key. You got to repeat that back to them. Repeat what they want back to them so they hear it. Okay? So, Brian, if I could show you how to make $500 a month, working an hour a day, 3 or 4 days per week, does that sound like a good business for you? Okay? He's going to say yes. If he says no, then he needs to look at what he just told you, because all you did was repeat that back. So he's not going to say no. Make sure that after they give you that open-ended answer, that you repeat that back every single time. That's key. So here's another question to ask after that. So Brian, what do you look for in healthy meal options? I love this question. What do you look for in healthy meal options? He's going to say, I don't know. Something that's easy to prepare, easy to cook. Here's another good question. How do you see Isagenix products helping your family's goals? I love that. When you talk about people's families or their kids, it becomes more real for them. So how do you see Isagenix products helping your family's goals? Well, we're on the go all the time with soccer and tennis. It's got to be easy. It's got to be quick, and busy people will say the same thing. Okay. Here's another example. How do you see Isagenix meal options helping you with your schedule? Anytime you're on Facebook and you see someone who's so busy, and you can tell by their profile or just talking with them, and they're in business meetings all week, or they're getting on planes and they're running around, ask this question to busy people. How do you see Isagenix meal options helping you with your schedule? It's a great tool because it gets them to think that, wow, this is something that could be really viable and applicable to my lifestyle. Here's another great business question. By the way, this is all recorded, so if you're not getting all the words down, just like always, it'll be posted. So Brian, if you found, and Brian's on the front of my head, I don't know, I was just talking to you and looking at you. And so if you found the perfect second income source, Brian, about how many hours a week would you be comfortable devoting to it? Great question. I'll say it again. So if you found the perfect second income source, about how many hours a week would you comfortably devote to it? Now, their answer will tell you exactly what they're willing to put in the business, right? So here's a follow-up. What kind of income would that need to produce for you? Do you see what I'm doing? We're just asking questions after questions to find out what their story is, okay? Because it's all going to tie together in the end. Now, to be very clear, you're not asking them all these questions I'm throwing out right now. These are examples. These are examples to get to know them. Please understand that. Do not ask them all these questions all at once. All right. And this question, huge. This is something that should be asked almost all the time because it really paints a great picture for you and your prospect. What are some of the benefits you've heard about network marketing? Or what are some of the benefits you've heard about home-based businesses? Or what are some of the benefits you've heard about referral marketing? You should ask that question all the time when you're talking to someone about the business, right? It's very important. It gets them talking, and it forces their mind to go somewhere positive. We all know about the subconscious. We all know what the subconscious mind does. It drives us. So when you are in trainings and the trainer's at the front of the room and he or she is saying, listen, you have to get people to agree with you. You have to say things so they agree with you. Why? To get them thinking, yes, I want it. Yes, I want it. It's the same thing. Key question. What are some of the benefits you've heard about network marketing or home-based businesses or referral marketing, whatever you want to say, right? So it gets them to think positive. Here's another one. How much extra money per month would make a meaningful difference for you and your family, and why? Make sure you ask why. How much extra money per month would make a meaningful difference to you and your family, and why? The why brings that emotion in. They're not just going to answer you and say, yeah, about $1,000 a month. When you say why, because I want my kids to go to private school and I don't want to be in debt. Boom. You just pulled on that emotional heartstring or tugged on that heartstring. The why, getting to people's why is really what this is about. That pain, it's that hot button. It really is. Okay? So make sure you ask the why. It forces them to talk way more than they would if you left that off. And then the close, which I hate saying the close, but for all intents and purposes, we know what that means. Here's the close. The close is a series of open-ended questions that end up with a close question. Because at some point, you got to wrap up this party. Otherwise, you're going to go into follow-ups. And there's nothing wrong with follow-ups. What I said on the teaser, on the team call, in the description, there's something wrong with unnecessary follow-ups. And that's what so many people do. I'm on calls. We do a lot of coaching calls, Lisa and I, and we hear people on some of the three-way calls we do in the coaching calls. The person's ready to go, and they're setting up another appointment. Or the person says, I'm excited, let's do this, I've been looking for this. And the person just cancels the deal, just ends the deal. They squash it because they keep talking. Or they set up a follow-up appointment. Well, I'll call you next week and I'll get your information. They're not excited anymore. It doesn't happen, right? So the open-ended questions lead to a closed question, and I'll show you what that is. So this is exactly what we do. I'm going to show you exactly what we do after we've shown people information. Once I've I've received their goals, I know what their goals are, whether it's money or weight loss. Now I need to get their budget information. And this step is missed so much of the time. This is probably one of the most important things that we do in this conversation, because we want them to enroll when they're excited, right? We don't want them to wait till next week when they're not excited and then get to warm them up all over again. So this is what we do. I have their goals. Now I need to get their budget information. So number one, this is exactly what I do with my people. So if you're going to replace 2 meals per day for the next month or two, in order to give this a real fair shot, which 2 meals would that be for you? Okay? If you're going to replace 2 meals a day for the next month or two, in order to give this program a real fair shot, which 2 meals would that be for you? Okay? That's a real open-ended question. It forces them to pick their meals. It forces their mind to look at a scenario where they're using the system I just told them about. Okay? And understand that short answers are okay. They're good as long as you're asking open-ended short questions or open-ended questions that lead to short answers. That's fine. It's just no yes or no answers yet. Okay? Their answer does not matter which meals. If they say breakfast, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever it is. Dinner. It doesn't matter what that is. You're getting them to think. The second thing, what are you typically eating for breakfast or lunch? We're going to go with the scenario that they said breakfast or lunch. So now, Linda, what are you typically eating for breakfast or lunch? She tells me. Third question, what do you think you're spending on breakfast? And then what do you think you're spending on lunch? So I'm finding out which meals she wants to replace to give this a real fair opportunity, a real fair shot. I want to know which meals she wants to replace. I want to know what she typically eats. It's important for some of this conversation is going to go a couple different ways. So that's why you need this information now. And what do you think you're spending on breakfast or lunch? Boom. You take those 2 numbers and you add them up and you get a number. Okay? Now this is the only time in the entire conversation that I use a close-ended question now. Now you do this to seal the deal. You don't want to be on the phone with them for 4 hours, right? And you want to find out who's real and who's kicking tires. So this is how you seal the deal. You use this close-ended question for them to choose from 2 options, okay? So it sounds to me, Linda, that you're already spending $12 to $14 a day. So if you're already spending $12 to $14 a day on the meals you're going to be replacing for the next 2 months, are you more comfortable investing $20 a day or $10 a day? Now, we lead with value packs, the 559 packs. There's nothing wrong with giving them options. Just because some of us put one option on the table doesn't mean we never put 2 options on the table. So if you're comfortable doing this, this is how we started out, totally fine. Give them choices. Are you comfortable investing $20 a day or $10 a day? I'll say this again so it's not broken up. Sounds to me like you're already spending $12 to $14 a day, Linda. So if you're already spending that $12 to $14 a day on the meals you're going to be replacing for the next 2 months, what are you more comfortable investing $20 a day or $10 a day? And let her decide. It doesn't matter. That's a close-ended question because I'm giving them something to choose from. And she's not coming up with her own answer. She can only choose the $20 a day or the $10 a day. So she could say like, all right, I guess I'll try the $20 a day. Or she could say, Josh, budget's pretty tight. I better do the $10 a day. Okay, $20 a day is the value pack. Beautiful. $10 a day is the getting started pack. Beautiful. Right? We're purposely doing this to close the deal and wrap it up. Okay? And I care that they join our team and not necessarily which program they get on. Of course, there's more value to the value pack. That's why it's called the value pack. Of course, they're going to hit their goals quicker, but you know what? Let them decide. Okay? So these are the magic questions that will change your business. I guarantee it if you implement them and you practice. You have to practice. We have to practice this. You can't just, you could just go into your brand new conversation tomorrow morning and do it. In fact, you may want to do that, but practice also. These open-ended questions will change your conversations from awkward to flowing, like you really know what you're doing. And you're not going to waste your time with unnecessary follow-ups that you don't need to schedule. Okay, making sense? So this will really take your Isagenix business from tough and grueling to, oh my gosh, I cannot believe another one said yes. I can't believe another one said yes. Trust me, this is what happens. These are the questions most people don't ask, and they don't go through this process. So you're literally going to get the answers to the test, if you think about that. They're going to tell you what's important to them. All right? I promise you, your business will launch and will have much more fuel and horsepower behind it if you do this. But you have to practice. So I always say, grab your friends with no expectations, grab your family members that have poo-pooed you and say, listen, Betty, I need to practice. I know this isn't for you, but will you hear me out? Let me practice on you. And go through those steps. Betty, if you would replace 2 meals a day, blah, 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 obviously getting their goals ahead of time. Okay? Making sense for everybody? Yes? Good. Good, good. So if you think about it, it's logical. It's logical. Here are the 3 most important things to me. Okay? I'm your prospect, and I'm telling you, Linda, here are the 3 most important things to me. And then you say to me, what a coincidence. I have a product or I have a system that accomplishes those 3 things. What else is there? The chances that they're going to say no at that point are slim to none. They're probably not going to say no at that point. They're telling you what they want, and you're saying, I have a solution for that. All right? I found that so amazing, that little sentence. They're telling me the 2 most important things. Well, great. Well, that's a coincidence because this system actually does that. We're able to accomplish those things. Okay? You won't get those hot buttons or answers to the test, if you will, if you're telling them things. If you tell them a success story, if you tell them about the ingredients, if you tell them how much money you're going to make them, no, no, no. You've got to ask the questions and have a conversation. It's just a conversation. So at this point, so for those of you that weren't on the call 3 weeks ago, we're going to try to limit the content on each call. Okay? We want to try to make these more efficient, and we understand people are getting back on the phones and building their business and being with their family. So not every time, but a lot of times we're going to have these meetings be a lot more condensed and just offer some real good hardcore material, go through our questions, and then get on with our lives. So we're going to go right to Q&A. And I want to say this again. I can't say this enough, that people are often, they feel like they're going to ask a dumb question. There is no such thing as a dumb question. Everybody's got it on their mind or has had it on their mind. And I guarantee you there are people that want to ask, they just don't. And so please, when you have a question, unmute your phone, unmute your computer, ask the question, and let's hammer this out. This is your call. Unless your business is exactly where it needs to be, or you know exactly what you need to do to get it there, this is it. Bring the questions up and let's hammer them out. And I promise you we'll answer them, or we will find them if we don't know them. So that being said, let's go ahead and take some questions, and then we're going to wrap things up for tonight. Those of you on the phone that couldn't see.
I don't know if we have any on the phone. Hit that button.
Which button?
That one.
Okay. So anybody have any questions? Is it crystal clear, or are there any questions about this? Is that Nick?
He said okay.
Oh, good. All right. And happy birthday, Nicholas. Woo! So, anybody else? No. All right.
Andrew Smith has something.
All right, Andrew Smith, go right ahead, buddy.
You're muted.
I'm going to unmute you. You're now unmuted.
Hey, welcome back. So at the end there, you said, here are the 3 most important things to me, and that's answered by any of those open-ended questions you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I got that. I didn't miss something.
Great question. Yeah, they're going to tell you. So if it's 2, 3, 5, whatever it is, that is what you can help them with. You're going to enhance their life by addressing those concerns, whether it's weight loss, muscle gain, they're tired, they have no money, whatever it is. That's what those are. Mm-hmm. Some people may throw up, listen, I want to start. I can't start right now. I'd love to start next week. Does everybody know what to do with that? Anybody want to talk about that? Anybody want me to talk about that? Has anybody, by the show of hands, has anybody had someone, you go through the whole program, they're super excited, they're pumped up, and say, oh, I'm not getting my check till next week, right? We have that all the time. Let's make an appointment next week, right? So what do? We make an appointment next week, and then we get back on the phone. If you're lucky, you get back on the phone with them, right? They're not warmed up. They're not excited anymore. So what do? Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to offer solution? All right. So what we do is we don't want them to get up. Yeah, Marlene, go ahead.
Can you do that thing where you have them pay the $29 to sort of save their spot, and then at least they've committed a little bit, so they might be more likely to come back?
Great question. So I think that's used for a different, so yes, you could, but I wouldn't go there yet. I would save that for someone who've gone through these other steps and absolutely can't do anything. But you're not even there yet, because a lot of people are excited, but people do live paycheck to paycheck, and they may not be able to do it till next week. Or they don't want to really be candid with you. They don't want to tell you the truth. So yes, there's a time and a place for that, but I don't think that's yet, because you still have them. You still have them. Let me just mute. Hold on one second here. So what you do is you say, great, we've started so many people up over the years that were in the same position as you are, no problem. What I'm going to do, Marlene, right now is I'm going to get all your information. And next Friday, when you said you get your paycheck, I'm going to put your order in. And I'm going to text you as soon as I put your order in, and you're going to know it went in. And then as soon as you get your box, Marlene, because you're going to get it in about 3 to 5 days, call me or text me. Don't open your box without getting me back on the phone. So what you've done right there is, this is great, because you're going to find out if they're kicking tires, if they're blowing you off. If someone's going to waste your time, I want to know right away. They're not off my list, but I'm going to spend time on my follow-up with people that are serious and people who aren't ready to commit yet. The people that are kicking tires, they go in a different category. So I'm going to say, Marlene told me next Friday she gets her paycheck. Great. I'm going to get your information out. Don't worry. It's safe with me. Next Friday, I'm going to put it in. You'll get a text. Call me as soon as you get your box, okay? The reason you do that is because most of the time when you try to follow up with them, not all the time, they're not excited anymore, right? They don't have that, you know what, I got the kids' tuition for preschool coming up. You know what, let's hold off another month. This happens over and over and over and over again. But at peak excitement, it doesn't happen as much, right? But 90% of the time, it doesn't happen. You can diminish that. So you get their information now. Now, here's where people go wrong. They make a phone call on Thursday. Hey, Marlene, you still want to do this thing? Or I'm ready to do it tomorrow. You're with me? Worst mistake ever. And we've all done it. I've done it plenty of times. Do not do that, because they made a commitment Friday. You made a commitment. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to text you. They said, okay, right? Peak excitement is what gets them to see that they want to do this. They see that their goals are going to be met and all of their wants are going to be met. But when you call them, you're giving them an excuse to jump out of that tree. You don't want them to do that then. And so this really works. It really, really works. So don't call them. You've already made the agreement. If you say, okay, Marlene, I'm going to call you at 12 because you're getting your paycheck at 11, most of the time it's not real. It's a way to get off because they're just not sure at that point. Does that make sense? The $29, I think I've done that once. I'm not an expert on that, so I can't talk on that. Maybe one of you can. I don't love that. I'll use it if someone really can't get started, but they see the potential and they want to grab a piece of real estate in our business. That's what I see it for.
It could be a way to do the same thing that you're talking about, whereas right then and there you can put them in the system for the 29 and say, I'm going to set your auto ship up for Friday when you get paid. And it's the same difference. Unless there's a free enrollment or 10% off kind of deal going on, then it doesn't make sense. But that is a good way to actually get them in the system, and they know that they have an account at that point, and that their order is going to hit that payday. Mm-hmm. So that way you've actually gotten the enrollment.
Yep. Good point. Good question, Marlene. Has anybody ever had someone who says, this is great, I love it, Nick, you did such a good job showing me all this information, it's something for me, I can't afford it? Has anybody gotten that answer before? I can't afford it, right? So what do? I used to do this. I don't know, but I don't tell you, buddy, it costs money, right? So this is what we do, right? If someone says that they can't afford it, okay, your response should be this. I certainly understand that, Nick. We have so many customers that have been using this system for years that once said the same thing. I think I have an idea for you. Okay? Nick, what if I could get you close or to match that $6 a day? So remember, I said to you before, we go through that process to get information for situations like this. You can't go backwards. It's very difficult to go backwards to say, you're going to build lean muscle, blah, blah, blah. It's $5.59 or it's $20 a day or $10 a day, which works best for you, and they say they can't afford it. I have to know what their budget is for this situation, okay? I hope that makes sense to everybody. That's why we go through those steps. So, Nick, what if I could get you close or match that $6 a day that you said you're spending now and still get you some pretty incredible results? Is that something that you'd be open to? I can't see Nick's face. Hopefully he's shaking his head yes. He's saying yes?
Yes.
Very good. So Nick is going to say yes, because if he says no, he's not being authentic with me at this point, or he still needs more information, and that's okay. If someone still needs more information, this goes into a follow-up call, totally fine. But most of the time it doesn't, because they're already spending $6 a day. You've already validated and they've agreed to you. They haven't hit their health goals. That's why they're on the phone with you, right? So now I say, is that something that you'd be open to? They say yes all the time. And what is that? 2 shakes a day, 4 canisters, boom. Get them on the shakes? Of course I'd do that. Are you kidding? They're getting on the shakes is starting this whole process. They're getting food in their body. Is it the whole system? No. But that's why I tell them, what if I could get you close or match that $6 a day? And that's not for someone who can't decide between 10 and 20 yet. That's for someone who says, it's too expensive, I can't afford it. All right? Right? You will find out who is really serious and who's just playing around or kicking tires. And you need to know that. I'd rather know that on the first phone call or second phone call than realize that on the 8th phone call that they've taken my time. Right? Again, they go into a different category. They're not off my list ever. Okay? It's not about the math working out. Everybody wants to say, well, they spend $3 on eggs in the morning and they spend $3 on yogurt at lunch. That's only $6. It doesn't equal 10. It's not about the math. It's about getting them to realize that they're not hitting their goals. And that's why they're on the phone with you. If they say they're skipping breakfast, my answer would be almost identical, but I'd add in one thing. I'd say, so Maggie, you're skipping breakfast right now, but are we on the phone because you think you may need something to spark your metabolism? Or are we on the phone because you think you need something extra to help lose that weight? Right? Again, she's going to say, well, yeah, that's why I'm on the phone. That's part of it. So Maggie, if you're going to start eating anything, because you know in order to become healthy and to lose that weight, you know you need to start eating better, what do you think you'd start eating? And she says, granola bar, yogurt, something like that. So now I go into it. Maggie, what do you think that granola or granola bar or yogurt cost you? She says $2. So I say, okay. So you need to start eating breakfast, and it may cost you $2. What about lunch? She says, yeah, turkey sandwich or, I don't know, turkey on salad, $8. Great. So again, I get them to start agreeing that they should be eating breakfast and eating lunch to get to their goals and to get them spending that budget again like above. It's all the same thing. So Maggie, would you be more comfortable investing $20 a day or $10 a day to get to your goals? And notice I say investing, not spending. Would you be more comfortable investing? She's spending money now. She's investing with me. Would you be more comfortable investing $20 a day or $10 a day to get to your goals? Boom. She's now got to choose 10 or 20. Or if she goes to that other place, I can't afford that. I can only afford 7. Great. 2 shakes, 4 cans, done. Right? How about this? Oh, no, we already covered that. I'm so excited, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if I have any other tidbits. Anybody else have any questions? I don't want to keep throwing things out that people aren't interested in hearing. So any other questions?
I have one, Josh.
Yeah, go ahead.
So today I did a call, and all the stuff you're talking about is stuff that I guess my first question to them is what their goal is. And so I did a call for one of my people, and then I proceed to talk about it all. I actually answer those questions without asking them. So I go through them. So I don't know if that's a better way, or to get them to say it or to ask them the question. I don't know, but I like to hit all negative points before they bring them up. So, for instance, I might talk about the expense or what the shake is, or I might talk about, basically it's my story. So in my story, I put that, and I put that I'll say, like I did today, you know, I've mapped it out. So I looked at my breakfast, you know, my salad at Whole Foods with chicken, and my meal at night, what that costs compared to what I'm doing here, and there's no comparison. I'm saving tons of money without throwing things out. My point is, I'm hitting those things. I'm not asking them.
Is it working for you? Are they enrolling?
Yeah, they enroll, right? So then I asked the girl, what did she say? She's in. So I don't have you know what I'm saying? Like, I was reading Eric Worre's book tonight, and it was talking about those questions and when you're getting involved, and, you know, and so I guess when I'm telling my story, if I like to hit the negative points first, and I don't know if I should hit them or wait for them to ask about them.
So that's a great question. I love that. I actually do that in the clinic with my care plans. I go through the negatives, and it's great.
Correct.
I would tell you this: there's no right or wrong way to do this business. If it's working for you, I think that's great. I like the concept of doing that. And I would just say, if you can make that work, and you do it, you obviously do it very well because people are enrolling, I would say keep doing it. Absolutely. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The whole thing is, it's got to flow, and you've got to show the person, number one, that they trust you, and number two, you can deliver the goods. They've got to believe that you can deliver. If I say this system does this, I've got to build rapport with someone. And what's the best way to do it? To get them talking about themselves. Of course, adding your story in and addressing those in the beginning, I think is awesome. I think it's great. Absolutely. This is not the way to do anything. This is just one of the ways that we do it. It works for a large majority of the population, but if you can say it ahead of time, absolutely 100%.
I also think that, I mean, not only do I might not always tell my story, but when you get somebody on the phone, so for instance, if I get a three-way with you, or like today, you know, this girl said, can you call my friend? She's interested. My first question to the friend was, what is your goal? Are you trying to get more energy? You're trying to lose weight? So I have a talk for all of us. So if they're trying to lose weight, you know, I have a thing of why Isagenix is so much better than everything out there, right? And then I can hit all those points. And so that works for me. As I'm reading the book tonight, I can hear him saying, asking, engaging, and asking those questions about that. But at the same point, like you said, when you're doing your care plan, you want to hit those negatives first. It kind of takes it all out. It's kind of an easy way. And I've kind of done that with this. And so I guess it's what works for you. It's working for me, so I don't want to have to ask. And just go through it. Tell them what. If you go through it, like you said, if you go through it and it flows, it's just a conversation, and you've just answered their questions, and they're on and they're in.
Yeah, absolutely. And they can say to you, look, I'm not there yet. I'm not sold on it yet. Awesome. What other information can I provide to you? And then you set the follow-up appointment. Absolutely. Yeah. And just to tangent on what you said, always share your why. And that's why we talk about the 30-second story. We don't want to go on and on for an hour about ourselves. And that's why the company is so big on mastering your 30-second story, because it shows the pain, it shows where you were, it shows where you're going, it shows all those important things. But the pain, that number 2 step that we've talked about before, that's what gets people to take action, to make something different happen in their life. So, yeah, I love that, Brian. Thank you. Awesome. Any other questions? Going once. All right. So,
I told them we post that.
Yeah, we'll post this, exactly the notes that we just went over. We will definitely post this. We're going to wrap up right now. Marcy has posted a vote for a change in the team call time. And the reason is many people want to know if we can do this earlier in the week, such as Monday or Sunday. Quite frankly, I would love to do that. Listen, if we've got to keep it Tuesday, we'll keep it Tuesday. But there are people that want to know if we can do this Monday or Sunday. So there are different times put up there. Cindy also brought up a great point on what happens Sunday nights. It's the close of the week and people may be working. So we're open to anything. This is your voice, but there are a lot of people who have not voted. Please go to the Limitless page and just put in your vote. We take everybody's feedback into consideration. We want to do what's best for the team and what you guys want to do. But there has been a lot of chatter about moving the call either Monday or Sunday. And so please vote. We'll bring this up again for discussion. And we'd love your feedback. Any other, it's on the Limitless. So if you go to Limitless, Dr. Smith, scroll down a little bit and you'll see a poll. It's probably 4 layers deep right now, just because I just saw someone, it just came up on my feed. So it can't be that far from the bottom. And we can we'll put your name in there and it'll pop it up at the top, right? Yeah, at least we'll throw your name in there so it'll bring it right up on your screen in the comment. Anybody want to say anything about that? Anybody want to talk about anything? Are we good to go? Oh my gosh, Super Saturday, you guys. October 8th. Found it. All right, good. October 8th. Dave and Carrie are coming in. They're staying with us Thursday. They'll be here for the weekend. October 8th in Natick at the Crown Plaza. Don Ferrantino, Susan Miller, Murray Miller, Chelsea Miller, Lisa LaBelle, myself, Jen Rothbart. Awesome Super Saturday. Great training. And yes, you can bring guests from 10 to 12. You can have guests come from 10 to 12 in the morning. There's going to be awesome training. Murray is phenomenal. Susan's phenomenal. And for those of you that haven't heard Dawn, who used to be an accountant, a CPA, she's awesome. Awesome. She was an introvert sitting in a little cubicle, hating what she was doing every day. And now she made $100,000 in her first, she's $1 million income earner. She made her first $100,000 in her first 9 months in the business. First 9 months in the business, she brought in $100,000. How? She'll tell you. So October 8th, Natick, get there. Buy your tickets. We're putting this on, and we need to sell tickets, and we want people there. We want people learning. So if you don't live in the area, if you have people in Boston, bring them. We will hug them, kiss them, welcome them with open arms. But definitely get there. I know Dave and Carrie are excited to see everybody. So it's going to be a great, great event. We are starting to do webinars for our opportunity nights. Susan and I talked about the Thursday after the 8th. Anybody have a date? Hold on, let me pull up the date. The first webinar will be Thursday night. I believe it's the yeah, sorry, it's okay. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, October 13th. I'm doing the Wellness Revolution webinar with Susan Miller. So she'll be doing the business. It's a quick, we want to try to keep it to 30, 40 minutes. An opportunity presentation, live presentation online. So anybody in the world can dial this up. They will be recorded. We're going to get 3 or 4 of them recorded. So that's October 13th. You have a prospect? Invite them on. Okay? Anybody else have anything they want to shout out, say? Awesome, guys. Great to see everybody. Short and sweet. Hope everybody got some value from this. And let's rock it out. And let's see that list growing. That congratulations list that we just went through in the beginning was huge. Let's keep it going. Love you guys. Peace out.